All branches of science can trace their origins far back into the mists of history. But in most subjects, the history is qualified by, "We now know this was wrong," or "This was along the right lines, but today's view is different." For example, the Greek philosopher Aristotle thought that a trotting horse can never be entirely off the ground, which Edward Muybridge disproved in 1878 using a line of cameras linked to tripwires. Aristotle's theories of motion were completely overturned by Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton, and his theories of the mind bear no useful relation to modern neuroscience and psychology. Mathematics is different. It endures. When the ancient Babylonians worked out how to solve quadratic equations, probably around 2000 BC, although the earliest tangible evidence dates from 1500 BC, their result never became obsolete. It was correct, and they knew why. It's still correct today. We express the result symbolically, but the reasoning is identical. There's an unbroken line of mathematical thought that goes all the way back from tomorrow to Babylon. When Archimedes worked out the volume of a sphere, he didn't use algebraic symbols, and he didn't think of a specific number pi, as we now do. He expressed the result geometrically. Nevertheless, his answer is instantly recognizable as being equivalent to today's 4/3 pi r cubed. To be sure, a few ancient discoveries outside mathematics have been similarly long-lived. Archimedes' principle that an object displaces its own weight of liquid is one, and his law of the lever is another. Some parts of Greek physics and engineering live on too, but in those subjects, longevity is the exception, whereas in mathematics it's closer to the rule. Euclid's Elements, laying out a logical basis for geometry, still repays close examination. Its theorems remain true, and many remain useful. In mathematics, we move on, but we don't discard our history. I need to point out two things. One is that the perceived importance of a method or a theorem can change. Entire areas of mathematics have gone out of fashion, or become obsolete as the frontiers shifted or new techniques took over. But they're still true, and from time to time, an obsolete area has undergone a revival, usually because of a newly discovered connection with another area, a new application, or a breakthrough in methodology. The second is that as mathematicians have developed their subject, they've not only moved on, they've also devised a gigantic amount of new, important, beautiful, and useful mathematics. That said, the basic point remains unchallenged. Once a mathematical theorem has been correctly proved, it becomes something that we can build on forever.